So the countdown to the 2024 president election is on. Sources telling ABC News that President Joe Biden could potentially announce his re-election bid as early as this week. Meantime, GOP candidates and potential contenders hoping to challenge Biden are testing the waters in the crucial state of Iowa that includes former Vice President Mike Pence, who says a decision could come by June. Deputy Political Director Avery Harper joining me now to discuss. So, Avery, let's start with President Biden. How are Americans viewing his performance ahead of this potential announcement? What do we know? What are the numbers showing?
Well, President Biden has struggled with his approval numbers for the entirety of his tenure, and so now it is no different. If you look at recent polling, it shows that he is underwater. But if you also look at polling of approval for former President Trump, he's not faring too much better. It is important to note that what we've seen the administration and the president do is go out and try to tell the American people what the Biden administration has been able to accomplish thus far. And with former President Trump running, it really does give President Biden a foil. He will be able to say, as he has previously, compare him to the alternative and not the almighty.
So Florida Governor Ron DeSantis did speak to reporters while in Japan on this international trade trip, where he actually downplayed a potential 2024 bid. Let's take a listen.
Governor, I show you falling behind Trump. Any thoughts on that?
I'm not a candidate, so we'll see if and when that changes.
Okay, what's the strategy here? Why take this overseas trip? And should he be worried about, Trump's clear influence in Florida right now?
Right. I think that what we see Florida Governor Ron DeSantis doing there is just playing coy, as we've seen many other potential candidates play coy as folks ask them about their presidential ambitions before they announce their bids. Look, this trip is about raising Governor DeSantis's profile on the world stage. It is about sharpening his foreign policy chops. He's going to visit not only Japan, but he's going to visit Israel. He's going to visit South Korea and the UK, and this could get him some coverage on international issues rather than just the domestic policy issues that he usually confronts every day as a governor here in the United States.
It's definitely going to be an interesting year. Also, last week, we've got to talk about the Supreme Court deciding to allow a full stay on a judge's ban of the abortion pill. Yesterday on This Week, Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace told our Martha Raddatz that the GOP needs to find a middle ground on abortion rights. Let's listen in. I want to talk to you about this.
As Republicans, we need to read the room on this issue because the vast majority of folks are not in the extremes. We're going to lose huge if we continue down this path of extremities and finding that middle ground. The vast majority of people want some sort of gestational limits, not at 9 months, but somewhere in the middle. They want exceptions for rape and incest. They want women to have access to birth control. These are all very common sense positions that we can take and still be pro-life.
So, Avery, abortion played a huge role in the midterms. We know that. So do you think that they can actually find a more moderate stance in 2024?
It's going to be tough to see that happen. Look, Republicans have really backed themselves into a corner when it comes to this issue. This was not a winning issue for Republicans during the midterm election, and the issue of abortion has become, and a hard right stance on abortion has really become a litmus test for many Republican candidates. And so this is going to be something that is going to possibly lead to trouble for Republicans as we head into this 2024 election.
Well, former Vice President Mike Pence seems to be distancing himself from former President Trump, especially on abortion, an issue that he's always had strong views on. So if Pence announces, how do you think he's going to handle campaigning against his former running mate, Avery?
It's definitely going to be tough for him to do that. Look, his time in the White House and his experience as a vice president of the United States is a critical part of what gives him credibility to run for president in the first place. And so I think we're going to continue to see Pence talk about his accomplishments with the Trump-Pence administration while at the same time trying to distance himself from former President Trump. But I will tell you, when you talk to Republican voters, especially especially those who are still very much in line with former President Trump. Many of those voters still see Pence as a betrayer of former President Trump. So it's going to be an uphill battle for him and for any other candidate who is arguing against former President Trump to get the support of those folks. Kira.
All right, Avery, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.